What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Wide Eye Sports Podcast. We got a little funky stuff going on here on the YouTube feed. Let me fix that for us. All right, there we go.
Just wondering.
You got Bryn hosting on the mic as always. We do have a full crew with us. We got Dalton, we got Riley, and we got Spoon all joining us today. It has been, kind of a slow week. We're pre-draft process. There's not been a whole lot of news. But we're gonna get into some speculatory stuff today. We got a mock draft on this episode for you that we're gonna run, where I will be the general manager this time, and then just a couple other little things we're gonna button up, and then later on this week we'll have one last mock draft, and then Tuesday's podcast, and then we're at the draft, boys. We've almost made it. We're almost
so excited.
there.
So excited for the draft.
So we finally get to see how this all shakes out. So with that, we're gonna get right underway here. I'm going to pull this up here for us. Bada bing, bada boom. So, that one's not going to work very well, is it? Well, can we do that one? Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. I can even do this. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, there we go. So now we're all set up here. So if you don't remember, a few weeks ago, we went through and we assembled divisional teams based on quarterback, running back, wide receivers 1 and 2, tight end, O-line, and defense. So, for example, the AFC North, which is the first team on the board, is Lamar Jackson, Nick Chubb, Jamar Chase, Amari Cooper, Mark Andrews, the Ravens O-line, and the Ravens defense. So that's it's set up the same way for all the divisions. And so first off, I just read you the AFC North. They are going against the NFC East. So that's Dak Prescott, Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Philly's O-line, and Dallas's defense. So let's get right into things. What are we thinking here? I'll let Spoon go first. Who wins this and why to you?
Man, I don't know. I feel like we probably need to go through each.
You want to go? You want to go?
I kind of want to
go
go position by position because there's a few of them where I'm like, okay, I'm going to take the NFC East, but there's like some obvious ones where I'm like, okay, I'm taking the AFC.
All right. So AFC North, we got Lamar versus Dak. I'm taking Lamar.
I'm taking Lamar.
All right, cool.
All across the board.
I was. You never know with Dalton. He could surprise me. I was, all right. So running back, Nick Chubb versus Saquon Barkley. This one's really tough. That's really tough. I kind of lean towards Nick Chubb. Like, I believe Saquon's a top 3 talent at running back, but Nick Chubb has proven he can do it. So, I would be okay with calling it a draw and then coming back to it. Everybody good with that?
That's fine. Because I'm leaning towards Saquon. I feel like he gives the better dual threat than Nick Chubb does, but Nick Chubb is a harder runner than Saquon is. You can really go either way.
Hold on 1 second. All right, let's do draw there. And then wide receiver, we have Jamar Chase and Amari Cooper versus CeeDee Lamb and A.J. Brown. I'm giving it to the NFC East here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Chase is the best overall receiver, but Amari's not on any of their level. And
Agreed.
The NFC East takes it. Tight end, Mark Andrews takes that 10 times out of 10 over Dallas Goedert. Everybody good with that?
I'm good with that one.
I wouldn't say 10 times out of 10, but definitely.
All right, so if you were drafting a team and Mark Andrews and Dallas Goedert were both on the clock, 10 times out of 10, you would take Mark Andrews. You would take that. That's what I meant by that. That's why.
Okay.
So, O-line, I'm giving this to the NFC East with Philly's O-line.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll be good there. All right.
So if I'm not mistaken, it comes down to this.
It comes down to this.
And this is where I would lean towards the AFC North.
I'm giving it to the Ravens.
Yep.
All right,
yeah.
Ravens.
I was worried about that. I just wanted to make sure that the NFC East did win. I mean, my boy CeeDee Lamb, and I talk highly on A.J. Brown. I wanted to hear everybody say that they were the better duo.
They were.
The AFC North. That's what I wanted to hear. But yeah, the NFC or the AFC North definitely takes this one. It was close.
It was.
All right, so there we go. We got that. And then next up, we have the NFC South versus the NFC West.
Looking at this, I would go ahead and just say the NFC West probably wins. I don't even need to hear what players, honestly.
I don't know.
We'll
I
go
don't know.
through it.
Let's go through this. Let's go through this, okay? So the quarterback one's a really hard one for me. We have Stafford versus Kirk.
Oh, that's Kirk.
I'm gonna lean Kirk.
I'd go Stafford.
I know which way Brenner's leaning.
I guess it's I want to say Stafford because I feel like I'm going to be biased if I say Kirk, but like they're both like identically the same level type situation.
Then just say Stafford and just call it a draw.
All right, we'll call it a draw. We'll call it a draw. All right, CMC versus Kamara. Kamara's amazing, but CMC.
CMC.
Yes.
Evans and Olave or Puka and DK.
Puka and DK.
I lean Evans,
I lean
Olave.
Evans. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Evans and Olave here.
Man.
I just like DK too much, man. I think DK is lights out. And then Olave is unreliable.
That's tough.
He did just go through. He had a very good year, in my opinion, for who he had throwing the ball to him.
I mean, yeah, Olave for me is a really talented receiver with no quarterback. Like Derek Carr's not what he was. I'm going Evans Olave. I'm going with it.
I'll go DK Puka.
So it's another
There's
draw.
another draw.
Yeah,
Another
draw.
draw. See,
He's
Spoon's like, they got
I
it. in the back. Yeah, we're
thought
two draws.
NFC West had this in the draw.
Yeah.
Or in the,
So Pitts
Got it.
versus Kittle. I think we're all going Kittle, right?
100%.
I'm 100%
Unfortunately.
going Kittle.
And then O-line and defense. The Niners are going to win both of those, right? Against whoever the NFC South has.
Yeah, there's not really much. I
The
can
Bucks,
add
the Bucks and the Saints. Bucks O-line, Saints defense. Niners win both those, so it ends up
Yep.
being a 4-0-2.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty damn close to.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give it to the NFC West.
all right. So the
All
champion.
right, championship. All right, here we go. I mean, this is hard because you have. I mean, Lamar wins the quarterback, right? Like there's no.
Lamar
There's
wins
no-
the quarterback.
Lamar wins quarterback, and then CMC versus Chubb. We gotta
I
go.
give it to CMC.
Yeah.
He's the
CMC.
highest. He's the highest paid running back in the NFL for a reason.
And then Puka and DK versus Chase and Amari.
That's
I
hard.
don't want to go
but-
Chase and Amari here because I don't get me wrong. Puka had an amazing rookie season, but he's a rookie. Like it could be a one-hit wonder. It could be like if I'm signing up.
I'd
to
still
have
take
these
that chance. I'd still take that chance.
Well, would you take
Especially-
him? Would you take Cooper?
But you
over
have Amari
DK?
Cooper. But hold on, you have Amari Cooper. I would take Amari Cooper, or I would take DK over Amari, but I wouldn't take Puka over Amari, and that's my issue because Amari Cooper, everywhere he's gone, has had success. He had success in Oakland. He had success in Dallas. He's had success in Cleveland. No matter who's throwing the football, he's done really well.
Yeah.
So like, and then Jamar Chase is a top 5 wide receiver in the league, and I don't think Puka or DK are top 5. So you have I put Amari on Puka and DK's level, like they're all like right there next to each other.
But Jamar Chase being on the team, he just
But Jamar
elevates
Chase
it.
is way
Yeah.
up here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Chase and Cooper.
Yeah.
That's probably where I would lean here.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean that way too.
All right. Andrews or Kittle? Oh shit.
Fuck.
I'm going Kittle
I'm going Kittle.
I'm
Kittle.
going Kittle. Yep,
all across the board.
Kittle. All tied up 2-2. Oh god, this isn't gonna
Going
be
to
good.
the offensive line and the defense. God
I
damn.
kind of gotta
okay.
give the Niners the off. I don't know. I'm gonna give the. What am I talking about? I'm giving the Niners the O line. Niners win
Yeah.
the O line.
Yep.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? But the defense, the Ravens win the defense, right?
Yeah. That's another tie.
We have a legitimate 3-3 tie.
Go to the coach.
Do we go to coach?
Go to coach. Go to head
all
coach.
right.
See if we can decide a tiebreaker between the head coach.
Tiebreaker on the head coach. All
I
right.
don't
Who would be the head coach in the NFC West? It'd be Sean McVay, right?
Would it be McVay or Shanahan?
Yeah,
It's tough. I know. That's what I'm saying.
McVay has the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
but
I think
Shanahan
McVay.
has way more success lately.
I would go with Shanahan.
I mean, he has made the most Super Bowls. He's had a pretty winning record the last few
I
years.
gotta go. McVay. McVay is 1-2 in the Super Bowl. All Shanahan has done is get to the Super Bowl and blow it every time. He's had 3 double-digit leads in Super Bowls and lost all 3 of them as an offensive play caller.
McVay had Matt Stafford and won a Super Bowl.
Hey, don't discount Matt.
Also,
That's
next time either of you guys talk to Evan Bauer, if you do, tell him he still needs to get a tattoo that says "fuck them picks" because
All right,
he was
so-
supposed to get that tattoo.
So I'm leaning towards McVay here. So it's going to come down to Dalton. Are you going to go McVay or Shanahan?
Yeah, McVay.
All right, so it's gonna
Okay.
be McVay,
It's McVay.
and then is it Tomlin or Harbaugh?
I'd probably say Tomlin.
Tomlin.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin?
Dude, what Mike Tomlin has been able to do with the
Never
Steelers,
had a losing season, has a Super Bowl.
True.
that is like the fact that he can take a quarterback such as Kenny Pickett and still have a winning season with him, like that's insane. His defense
Yeah.
is so stout.
All right, well, if you're comparing McVay to, are we going with Tomlin? Are we going with Tomlin?
I would go
Yes,
with
sir.
Tomlin.
I'd go with Tomlin.
All right, so
Tomlin.
3 of it. All right, all 4 Tomlin. No disrespect to Harbaugh. He has a Super Bowl as well, but Mike Tomlin never had a losing season and has a Super Bowl. I mean, you got to lean there. So what do we do here? We have
Tomlin
McVay.
and McVay.
We have McVay, arguably the greatest offensive mind of the past decade, next to Andy Reid, who has a Super Bowl ring in the past 5 seasons, going against Mike Tomlin, maybe one of the most consistent head coaches of all time. He's been coaching, I believe it was since 2008. He's been the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers and never had a losing season. So,
As much as it pains me to say this, as a Cowboys fan that hates the Steelers, I'm probably going to go Mike Tomlin here.
Riley,
I would lean Mike too. Is Mike the GM of Pittsburgh? This is completely just one like.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Pittsburgh
I
have
don't
a
think
GM?
so. I think they have a GM. I don't know off the top of my head, but I would assume they have a GM. All right. Well, I mean, Dalt,
I don't know. What are you thinking?
I'm leaning Pittsburgh.
I'm leaning Pittsburgh too.
All right. Well,
There you go.
that'll settle it. That'll settle it. We have
With
a winner.
with the coach. AFC North with the coach.
AFC North with the coach tiebreaker win. Congratulations. The AFC, I almost said NFC North. AFC North has won. They are our best division in football, talent-wise.
Apparently coach-wise too.
Yeah. I think it was represented well throughout the season. They were every team in that division.
All
had
this did
5 or
was
above.
make me want to see these games be played with how you plug
Oh,
it in.
dude, it would be.
I need a
so
simulator.
Oh my god, the NFL, instead of doing like a World Cup, like soccer does a World Cup every 4 years, the NFL should do this every 4 years.
Just do a division tournament.
Do a divisional tournament
That'd be
in
cool,
like-
man.
in like May, right? Like May 15th every year.
You know, because you could pay all the players, pay all the coaches. There's so
Oh, that
much
would be
media
so
and ticket
sick.
sales that they would get.
Oh,
Let's say it's
Like-
7 games. It would take 3 weeks to do because you'd have 1 week.
Yeah. Well, you'd
2
probably
games,
do
2
it over a
games.
month. You'd probably do it over a month, right? Like the first week of May,
Yeah.
and then the second week of May, then do
Take
a
a
week
break,
off,
And
and
then,
then the championship over like is that Memorial Day weekend at the end of May?
I
Is it
think so.
Memorial or Labor Day? I can't remember. Whichever.
Labor Day's in September. I'm pretty.
Okay, so it's Memorial Day. So do it on Memorial Day Sunday.
Oh, dude.
Everybody has it off. Everybody's relaxing anyways. Have a fucking
and do
sick football
do it in a great location. Like put it in like I don't know. Do like
Put it in,
Orlando.
like-
well, not
yeah,
Orlando, but like maybe like Miami or something.
yeah.
or-
Do it somewhere like super New Orleans,
Yep. A place where people would want to go to spend their.
SoCal.
Yep.
You
SoCal
could,
would
do,
be perfect.
you could do anywhere in California really that time of year, but I think that would be awesome.
I'm
But
on board.
I agree.
that is our winner. The AFC North is who we have voted as our winner. So congratulations to them. Thank you guys for sticking around to watch that. We appreciate you there. Before we get to the mock draft, I just have one question for you guys.
What's that?
I want to know, as you guys all know, the viewers may not know, I am a bartender in my regular day job. And this past Saturday night was UFC 300. And
oh my god.
the question got posed to me at a sports bar. Who are the top 5 greatest receivers of all time? And I thought that was a pretty simple answer. Like I was like, there's not really a whole lot of debate there.
I don't think it's simple. I think that like the top ones, you could easily say like the top 2 or 3 right off the bat.
Well, but I had guys throw out names like Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Steve Smith Sr., Chris Carter, Steve Largent. I was like, what? Like this can't be. So like we gotta talk about it for a second. So I'll let you guys give yours in just a second. I'll lead off with mine. I got Jerry Rice at number 1.
Yep.
Randy Moss at number 2.
Yep.
My number 3 is Larry Fitzgerald.
Okay.
Then I got T.O. and Calvin Johnson. That's my top 5.
Okay. I don't hate it. I would probably have Calvin Johnson a little higher.
Over T.O.?
I would probably put him over T.O. Whenever I was hearing you say your third receiver, I was in my head, I was like, this has got to be Megatron. It's got to be Megatron. And you said Larry Fitzgerald, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I'd probably put Larry Fitzgerald, I'd probably put him 4 or 5, and then
4 or 5, bro.
I don't know. I see the
organization.
I know. And I was gonna say, like, myself looking at it, I see the argument there. That's why I said, ooh. I was like, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate it, but I feel like whenever people do their whole receiver, like their top 5, 1 and 2 are obvious. It's always going to be Jerry Rice. It's always going to be Randy Moss. You can interchange whichever one you want. And then I feel like the next 2 should also be interchangeable. You can do Larry Fitzgerald or you can do Megatron. It's that 5th receiver where I'm always like, ooh, someone always says something different. And I'm always curious as to what, like who they put there, basically.
Yeah.
Because I was never big on T.O. I understand the hype around him, but I feel like there's a couple receivers that you could argue were better.
Who?
I mean, I would argue that I would take Steve Smith Sr. over T.O.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on Steve Smith Sr.
I know.
I was talking to them
It's just an argument. You could argue about it. Would I? Probably not. But you could make an argument there for him. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, here's what I'll say. Steve Smith Sr., huge longevity thing. He's like, as far as somebody you want on your team, you want that dude on your team in a ball fight, right? Like you want him going to war with you. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the Larry Fitzgerald.
I would make an argument that I would probably put Julio Jones over T.O.
Really?
I would make that argument. I would 100. I would take that, and I would try to back it up the best I could. But yeah, I would.
All right, so
what about Antonio Brown? How do you feel about Antonio Brown?
I feel like he ended his career too early.
Oh, hold on. I think people forget because I didn't know this. There was a gentleman at the bar who brought up Antonio Brown, and he was like, "Yo, dude, Antonio Brown's top 5. He is top 5." And I was like, no way. Like that's fucking ludicrous. And then he pointed out to me, Antonio Brown was on the Steelers team that was in the Super Bowl against the Packers. So he was started in 2010, and he didn't retire until 2021. So he played for a decade.
11 years.
So like he started 3 games his sophomore year, I think. 3 games. He played in all 16, but he started 3 of them and had 1,100 yards. Like he was at it from the get-go. But Larry Fitz, on the other hand, I mean, this dude had 6, 7, 8, 9,000-yard seasons, played from 2004 to 2020. I mean, the dude has more career tackles than drops.
Yeah, he does.
That's crazy.
That's why I'm 100% okay with anybody putting Larry Fitzgerald in the top 5 because he was amazing. He never dropped the ball.
No, like Larry Fitzgerald is consistency. He's a better version of Chris Carter, in my opinion.
I was gonna say another receiver that just came to mind that nobody said, Marvin Harrison.
I said that I said that the other night. I didn't bring it up just now, but Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, both amazing receivers.
Wayne.
Torrey Holt back in the day.
Yep, Torrey Holt.
You could throw in. I mean, I'm not saying he's top 5, but you could throw that guy. You know, he was the #1 receiver on one of the greatest offenses of all time. Like, you can't take that away from him.
Like,
right?
Before the guys that you said were named from the whoever you were talking to at the bar, like, I would think of Julio Jones and Marvin Harrison before I thought of it. Like, I mean, Chris Carter was great. I'm not going to take anything away from him, but
Chris Carter isn't top 5 all-time receiver, but he is the #1 best hands of all time. That's what made him so good, is that he just caught everything that was ever thrown to him, ever. Like, that's why I said Larry Fitzgerald's like the better version, right? Like, Larry Fitz played for longer. He didn't have the drug problem that took him out of the NFL for a couple years. And Larry Fitz was obviously all alone in Arizona, aside from a couple years with Kurt Warner. So,
well, first of all, I also feel like me and you were talking a lot. I want to hear what Dalton and Riley have to say about their top 5.
Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised. I had Moss and Calvin Johnson at 1 and 2.
Whoa!
Really?
Hold on.
Jerry Rice out the window.
Jerry was at 3, and in my mind, he has better stats, but I don't think Jerry could do what Calvin Johnson and Randy Moss did on the field. I think let's be honest, Jerry was going against plumbers in the.
He brings up some plumbers.
I hate to be that guy. I hate to be that guy.
This is the MJ versus LeBron.
Back
debate.
when people were actually hitting each other and it not being called a foul.
I have never seen
hold up.
Jerry Rice go up over 3 guys and pull down a football. I have seen Randy Moss and Johnson.
I was
about to say I did want to put in the fact that the argument that Randy Moss is the only one of anybody that we talked about that is a verb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, literally.
He's a verb.
That's what people say.
You got mouse.
Exactly. Yeah. Reaching over the defender and catching it anyway.
True. They didn't
Randy's my guy.
Man.
Randy's my guy. Like, I got like a plaque with a gold coin of Randy Moss's face hanging up over here. Like, that is my dude. Jerry Rice is the greatest receiver of all time. He just is. He's got the Super Bowl rings. He's got the stats. He's got the production. He's got the teammates. He's got everything you want in a football career. He's got it. He's my #1. But Randy Moss is my personal favorite, obviously. Larry Fitz. If you didn't know, I'm a little biased towards Larry Fitzgerald as well, because he grew up in Minneapolis and he was actually the ball boy for the 1998 Minnesota Vikings, if you didn't know that, with Chris Carter and Randy Moss.
Nice.
He was the ball boy on that team.
Interesting.
So, fun little Larry Fitzgerald fact for you. So, obviously, he learned from Carter. He learned from Moss about how to play the position at a high level. So,
all right, Riley,
you
got your top 3. Who's your 4 and 5?
I had T.O. at 4 and Larry at 5.
Okay.
All right. I don't hate that. I don't, and we're splitting
one
hairs
name
here.
I'm surprised that hasn't been said yet, just because there is 2 Cowboys fans, is Michael Irvin.
If you're going to say Michael Irvin, no, he's not top 5. He's probably top 5. I would say top 15, I'd say probably top 20, maybe top 15.
Irving's a hard one for me. That's a hard one for me.
And that's kind of what I just expected them being Cowboys fans to have
Yeah,
them a lot
but,
higher.
Come on, man.
but they
Come on,
understand.
man.
They understand those
gotta be
offenses.
realistic.
The Vikings handed the Cowboys 3 Super Bowls in the 90s. I don't know if you guys know that, but the Vikings silver plattered them 3 Super Bowls. Dalton, you're not as big of a football history buff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Enlighten me.
Okay, so there's a guy named Herschel Walker. And Herschel Walker was an absolute stud, like, in college, running back. This is back in the day where running back was like the most important position in football.
Yeah.
And the Vikings handed over like 9 draft picks to the Cowboys after Herschel's first season in the NFL, because they just thought, man, this guy's going to be the next Walter Payton. We just had to deal with Walter Payton for like 10 years. This is the next Walter Payton. We're going to go get this guy no matter what it costs.
Really?
And the Cowboys ended up using those picks on half of their O-line, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, all those guys that you know and love were selected with Minnesota Vikings not first round picks, but with Minnesota Vikings picks. So
Interesting.
those teams.
So in other words, we mossed them.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. And I'm going to say this, and we can have this debate another time on the show. I would love to have this debate, the worst trade of all time debate. I now think it's the Russell Wilson trade, but up until this past year, it was
the Herschel Walker.
Universally known that the Herschel Walker trade is the worst trade in pro sports history. Like, Herschel Walker bummed out of the league like 3 years later. Like, he had like 1,000-yard season for us and then had like 200 yards more ever.
Wow.
So, yeah. And we gave up all that. Could you imagine if somebody like gave up? Let me look it up.
Yeah, look up what the picks were.
So, I may be
deep in the cut.
Wasn't Ricky Williams? Wasn't that the other big running back? Where like didn't who was it? Mike Ditka like traded their entire draft to draft Ricky Williams.
Something like that. So hold on here. So the Vikings got Herschel Walker, Dallas's 3rd round pick in 1990, San Diego's it was a 3-team trade. San Diego's 5th round pick in 1990, Dallas's 10th round pick in 1990, and Dallas's 3rd round pick in 1991. This is when there was like 15 rounds of the draft.
Yep.
Okay. Here's what the Cowboys got.
How many rounds are there now?
7. There's 7 rounds now. And then undrafted free agents are signed after that. You can pick and choose who you want after that. Like sign guys like free agency. So they got 2 linebackers, a cornerback, a D end, Minnesota's 1st round pick in 1990, Minnesota's 2nd round pick in 1990, Minnesota's 6th round pick in 1990, a 1st round pick in 1991, a 2nd round pick in 1991, a 1st round pick in 1992, a 2nd round pick in 1992, and a 3rd round pick in 1992.
Wow, 3 years worth of picks and like 4 players.
Yeah, basically 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, a 3rd-round pick, a 6th-round pick, and 4 starters for
8.
Herschel Walker, 2 thirds, and a 10th.
Hilarious.
Yeah, so that is
8 picks
for
and
anybody,
4 players.
Yeah, for anybody who
Just
wasn't
for a
versed on the
bust.
Herschel Walker trade, that's my traumatic story of the day. But that being done, unless anybody has anything to add to the wide receiver conversation, I think we should move on to our.
Well, I was
our
going to
draft.
just bring up has anybody heard about Rashid Rice yet? Any news on that?
No new news on that. Just
Nothing.
saying that we
He's getting charged. I saw something about his contract being terminated, but I wasn't sure.
I saw that too, but then I looked it up
but
and it's not.
it's not true.
He's basically going to do like virtual team meetings now instead of being there. The report has came out that he was the one driving though.
Yeah.
Yes. He was driving, and he was going 119 miles an hour.
Yep.
Which, like, this is gonna sound really bad, and maybe I have a problem. So, who knows? But I saw that report of 119, and he's driving a Lambo. I'm like, man, that car could pull like 220. That's not even that fast. Like, he's half gas in that thing.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I have a speeding issue. I don't know, but like,
But out of
like,
all
don't get me
places
wrong,
to do that,
119's
you're doing that in Dallas where there's
That's
so
what
much
if
traffic.
you are
like,
going
come on,
So
dude.
much
If
traffic.
you're
Go to-
going
go to, like-
do stuff like that, do it when there's no one around.
Yeah.
Like go drive on the interstate in Kansas or something. Go drive on the interstate in like Iowa. Like who? Like
Go
Wyoming.
drive through New Mexico.
Yeah, exactly. Like don't
Go
do
drive
that.
through West Texas.
Don't.
like-
Yeah, for real. Yeah, absolutely. Take I-20 all the way east or west. I'm sorry, all the way west where there's nothing there. Do that. Don't do it in Dallas. And if you're
All
going
right.
119, you can make that trip pretty freaking quick.
Alrighty, boys. So we're gonna start this draft. I think we'll do trades. So I am the GM today. I'm gonna run this shit. I'm gonna do this right. Because I'm the smartest one here.
Mm-hmm. All hail Brenner.
All hail the king. Thank you, Dalton. So first off, the Chicago Bears are going to take, in my book, if I was them, I'm taking Caleb Williams. Boom.
You're not going to trade
get
for
everything.
4 defensive players and 8 picks?
You know, I thought about it. I really thought about it. Well, it depends. Hold on here. Let's see. Who's the number 1 running back on the board here?
Jonathan Brooks.
Blake Corum. Trading it all for Blake Corum. All right. So deselect these here real quick. All right. If I'm Washington here, this is easy for me personally. It's not even a question. I'm going Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm
He
New
doesn't wanna
England,
do
though,
anything.
if I'm New England, okay, so you can't see the teams here, but there's multiple teams that would like to trade. And
Can you show me the teams that are interested real quick?
it won't let, like, I'm doing it right now. I have them pulled up on my screen, but it's
Yeah.
not popping up on the feed. I don't know why that is,
Okay.
but it doesn't. We are going to do this, though. This is what's going going next. No, hold on. Hear me out here, okay? So, if I'm New England, right? First year head coach, I'm thinking, man, I need talent. I don't need a quarterback of the future yet. Like you can't take Drake May here if you don't have the infrastructure around him. He's a guy very similar to the Josh Allens, the Justin Herberts. You need a great infrastructure around him for him to succeed at a high level. He's not just going to come in and throw throw your franchise on his back and just walk off into the sunset, right? Like, I don't think Drake May can do that if I'm the New England Patriots. And Minnesota is going to offer 3 first-round picks.
Oh,
Okay.
They're going to offer 3 first-round
Oh.
picks to move up to number 3, okay? And how do you say no to that, right? You can add 3 first-round talents for 1.
Mhm.
So, making the trade. I don't know why it says not accepted. Forced trade. We're forcing it. So, there was consent. I gave consent. I'm the GM. And then
All right,
they're going to
you're
go get...
taking JJ
they're gonna-
McCarthy.
No, they're taking Drake May.
Oh.
Kevin O'Connell. If I'm the GM of the Vikings, my head coach is Kevin O'Connell. He loves Drake May. I'm giving him the guy he wants. Now, next up, we have Arizona. And there's been some speculation that,
Yeah. that if
Arizona.
you have, or no, I guess never mind. Keep going. I was thinking.
You're good. I mean, what? I'll let you guys. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Is what I was getting to, so that kind of worked perfectly. So go ahead and finish, Riley.
Marvin Harrison
Well,
Jr.
I was thinking that I had seen a mock draft earlier in which kind of the same situation played out, but the Vikings took JJ McCarthy.
Yep.
And that allowed someone to trade up at 4 to take Drake May. Now,
Yep.
maybe the same thing would happen with JJ McCarthy if a team was just in love with him.
I mean, I don't. There's only one team here that would trade up to go get their quarterback. There's actually 2 teams that would trade up to go get their quarterback, but I don't think Arizona wants to drop that far for limited capital because they can't get back into the top 10, right? And Arizona doesn't want to miss out on Harrison, Malik, or Rome, right? They want one of those 3. If
Well,
I'm
what if-
Arizona,
I have also seen this going around on Bears Twitter. Would you take the 9th pick and Carolina's 2nd pick next year to trade up to 4?
no, because I feel, as the GM, I feel like there's a big difference between the top 2 receivers. Everybody's saying it's the big 3 this year, like in receivers with Rome, Malik, and Harrison. I think it's a 2-man race. I don't see Rome Odunze being on their same level. I see Rome Odunze being on a Michael Pittman Jr. level. Like, that's a good stratosphere for him. I see both. I see Malik Neighbors in the Stephon Diggs category, and I see Marvin Harrison Jr. in the JJ category, like way up there, right? So if I'm Arizona, boom, Marvin Harrison Jr. You take elite level players when you get them, and that's that. And then sitting on the clock here. We're just gonna do back to back, no question.
You don't
Now,
think they trade? You don't think they offer a trade to somebody there?
Nope. I think the other teams sit back here because I believe we'll get to it when we get there. So I think that's what happens. And then if I'm the GM of the Giants, and I'm sitting here and I'm going, what do I need right now? I got Daniel Jones for a year, but I think we go quarterback. Let JJ McCarthy sit behind Daniel Jones for a year, and then we cut Daniel Jones.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
See, well, that's the problem that I have is that the Giants can sit there and they can wait, or they can trade up and try to nab him before somebody else does.
See, I think they'll sit there.
I don't know if you can have both those quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, you can.
Well, you can cut Daniel Jones next year. You're going to cut Daniel Jones next year,
and JJ's still going to be on his rookie contract.
4 years of JJ McCarthy control. 4 years.
I am just talking as far as personalities. That's gonna rub Daniel Jones the wrong way.
Who cares? He's on his last year.
Yeah, who cares? If it rubs him the wrong way and he throws a hissy fit, you trade him.
Yeah.
And JJ starts sooner. You're preparing for your future. And you can't cut Daniel Jones this year because of money issues, cap issues that would be gained by doing that. So you just wait. You set yourself up for future. You take the best player for your team.
But you make it a quarterback competition to where Daniel Jones either has to step up or he knows he's getting the boot.
Yeah.
That's the boot. You just said they can't cut him because then they take on too much dead cap money, right?
Yeah, so they're just going to pay him next year to sit on the bench
for the season, no matter what.
I see no problem here. Best case scenario, JJ McCarthy shows up and he's the next, top 10 quarterback that succeeds in the NFL. Worst case scenario, Daniel Jones is pissed off about it, throws a huge hissy fit. It gets you a ton of pub. Your team's in the news all the time. And then JJ McCarthy takes over early. Now, it is a terrible situation if JJ McCarthy ends up being terrible and ends up just like Daniel Jones. But then you're just in the same position you are right now. So it's a wasted year.
I don't know, man. I really feel like they shouldn't draft a quarterback. Daniel Jones is not a bad quarterback.
He is a terrible quarterback.
No,
God
he's
awful.
not. No,
this is a Cowboys fan too that is saying that Daniel Jones
I don't even
is
know
not
how
that
you
bad
can
of a quarterback.
He's not a bad quarterback.
He's not bad. I'm not saying he's the greatest.
games
I'm not even
ever.
saying he's top 10. But
He's bottom
I am
10.
saying
He's a
I
bottom
get it.
10
I get
starter.
it though. Like we've seen his upside, we've seen his downside. We play him twice a year. Like we've seen it.
He's a bottom 10 starter in the NFL.
Yeah, but there's potential. Still, he made the playoffs last year.
No,
2 years ago. No, 2 years ago. I'm sorry.
And then
I'm still considering last year's
Donatell's
defense.
defense. And Ed Donatell made everybody look good because he's a terrible defensive coordinator now.
Hey man, he still has a playoff win under his belt
against the 31st overall defense.
He still can say that I've won the Giants a playoff game as a starter.
Trent Green can say I've won playoff games. Are we talking about Trent Green as a great quarterback? No,
we're not.
No.
So now playoff wins don't matter?
Yeah. Thank you. Let's go, Dak.
We can't have it both ways. I am just the mediator
everywhere.
here.
You just heard that.
I'm just the mediator. Don't shoot the messenger. I see the dirty looks you're giving me.
If you sit down and you watch Daniel Jones tape, you do not say this guy is a starting quarterback in the NFL for the next 10 years. You say this guy is an extremely high level backup and could come win us a couple games in a pinch. So
what else? Okay, answer me this. What else is there on the Giants that's good that would make? I don't think he's got anything else. Okay, on the offense. Daniel Jones is the best player now. He is the best player on the Giants right now. On the Giants offense.
They don't have a top receiver. I think they try to risk it and go with Roma Dunze here. It's possible.
No, they are not taking Roma Dunze here. I guarantee.
He needs weapons and he needs an O-line.
And there's two guys up there. Joe Alt and Roma Dunze would help Daniel Jones right now. I mean, I've been on the board with them taking a quarterback. I've been saying the Giants probably take a quarterback, but I also see the flip side. I see, hey, they They probably don't take a quarterback. They might take Joe Alt or Roma Dunze instead.
Yeah.
Or they could
take a quarterback next year.
They could trade that pick away and be like, hey, we're going to take JJ McCarthy, Denver Broncos, unless you guys trade up right now.
The quarterback pool next year is like 2 guys deep. Like there might be
Isn't Archie
one
Manning?
quarterback. No. Archie can't come out for 2 more seasons.
Yep.
So it might be like a 2013 where you have like a Geno Smith and then maybe one other quarterback come out next year. It's not a good, like, you can't just wait. Like, these guys look 3 to 5 years down the road at potential draft pools. You have a top 10 pick and you have a top 10 talent at quarterback sitting there. You got to
I guess that's where I cannot agree that JJ McCarthy is a top 10 talent.
I don't agree either. I don't think he is at all.
I think JJ.
Dude, name the time that JJ McCarthy didn't deliver. Exactly. Like
his stats aren't there. Like,
well, hold on. I said didn't deliver. He wasn't asked to do a lot, but anytime he was asked to do something, he did it, and he did it exactly how it needed to be done, and he did it. So I was gonna bring this up later, but I'll bring it up right now. We're gonna get to Tennessee. Tennessee is gonna take Joe Alt. They have the best tackle on the board. They're taking it. So we're gonna do that. But I see JJ McCarthy very similar to how I saw CJ Stroud, and this is gonna sound crazy. Okay,
you already sound crazy.
This is gonna sound crazy. CJ Stroud is set up to have a sophomore slump. Like, so CJ Stroud is going to be looked at in 5 years.
You just got Stephon Diggs.
Hold on.
And Tank Dell's going to come back.
Hear me out. Okay. He is going to be looked at similarly to how we look at Dak, a top 15 to a top 10 guy, because they both came into the NFL. CJ Stroud, what made him good last year is he is so technically sound. He is so strategically, technically sound that his game translated right away. So there are a few guys that come to mind when I say that, okay? In recent memory, Mac Jones, he stepped into the Patriots role and was a Pro Bowl in today's day and age, not old Pro Bowl, current Pro Bowl, so top 15 quarterback year 1, right? Like in his rookie season. Now, obviously, he didn't ever build on that. He ended up falling off and is not as good a quarterback now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he didn't build on that. Dak built on his rookie success and went on to stay a top 15, top 10 quarterback. And I think CJ is that same level. You don't watch CJ Stroud play football and go, oh my God, how are they not? Like, this dude is insane. You watch him and go, wow, that's just a great strategic, like, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's managing the game perfectly. He's a elite level game manager. And that term gets thrown around a lot. And I hate it because you can win a Super Bowl with a game managing quarterback. Like, that is absolutely possible. Mm-hmm. Like Matthew Stafford, he is an elite level game manager. He comes out and does exactly what he needs to do when he needs to do it and takes very strategic chances when he has to.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think CJ Stroud is very much that same vein. And I think JJ McCarthy is very much that same vein. But he could end up being the Mac Jones, right? He could go down the Mac Jones path. He could also go down the CJ Stroud path. We'll see. But
we were talking about CJ Stroud.
What?
Thought we were talking about CJ Stroud.
No, now I'm saying JJ McCarthy is similar to CJ, and he could go. Both of them can go down the Dak path. Both of them can go down the Mac Jones path. Is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. Okay.
If the Giants take JJ McCarthy at 6, they're already setting him up for failure. They're not going to have a great offensive line. They're not going to have a great
He's not going to start this year. He's not going to. The plan is to not have him start this year. That would be the plan, is for him to sit a year.
I mean, if you're taking a quarterback at 6 and you're not even going to let him start, that's a lot of capital that they can give up for someone.
10.
Didn't they
That's
trade
Patrick Mahomes, though. Patrick Mahomes showed a lot more in college than what J.J. McCarthy did.
No, all that Patrick Mahomes showed in college is that he had a big arm and he could play in the air raid, a system
we have not seen that with J.J. McCarthy. We saw him play on a run-first offense all year.
So Patrick Mahomes in the NCAA played in a system that 9 times out of 10...
You understand why the reason why J.J. McCarthy was so successful in college is because other defenses literally would just plan to stop the run. That was it. So they didn't even have to look at JJ McCarthy. That's why JJ McCarthy looked so good because, hey, if he's barely throwing the ball, why are we even going to game plan against JJ McCarthy? Why don't we game plan to stop the run, which is exactly what every defense did, and they still couldn't stop the run. That's why JJ McCarthy stepped up and he did so well whenever he had to, because they never game planned against him. They never saw that much from him. So all these schemes that they saw JJ McCarthy do, they didn't plan for it. They didn't see any of it. That's why he looked so good. Michigan had a great running offense. That is why they won the championship. It is not because of JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy is getting all this hype right now for no fucking reason. It is really pissing me off. He's a bust. He is a bust.
Oh,
take that.
So when you sat down, so when
he's going as high as 3 right now, dude, in some of these mock drafts, and I'm just like, bro, what? You hardly saw him do anything in college. What are you talking about?
Can I talk? For a second? Okay.
I mean, we always listen to you talk. Go ahead.
When you watch his tape, you see all over the tape, all over it, NFL caliber throws, elite level reading of defenses, all over the tape. His accuracy needs a little bit of improvement on the deep ball, okay? But that can be fixed with some footwork issues that he has. All he's got to do is tighten things up technically. No, they didn't game plan against him. But you know what they did game plan against? His offense, the offense he was running. And when he saw a play, he took it. He had full permission to audible at the line of scrimmage. He had full control of the offense. And he played for a guy who played NFL football at the quarterback position and was coached up by him. So he's got the pedigree. He's got the knowledge. He has the tools. Like, everything is there for a guy that you would take in the top 5, except for the raw numbers. And Patrick Mahomes was the exact opposite of that. He had none of the things you go, oh, that's an NFL talent there. That's the guy you want. That's the footwork you want. That's the pocket mobility you want. Like, none of that. Patrick Mahomes played an air raid offense. That offense, the scheme, traditionally does not translate well to the NFL. Like, almost never. But the Chiefs took a chance. They coached him up on all the technical things because they knew he had the arm talent. And because he got to sit for a year, he succeeded.
And he wasn't sitting behind Daniel Jones either. He was sitting
it doesn't matter who he was sitting behind. It was the coach. It was Andy Reid, right? Like, it wasn't because of Alex Smith. Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. It's because of Andy Reid.
I don't think it hurt that Alex was on the team.
I don't think it made a big difference.
I think it helped. It's always good to have. I mean, like, it's better than if he was sitting behind, who's a terrible quarterback.
Brandon Weeden.
Yeah, Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton's not terrible. All right, we're getting off track. We should get back to the draft here. We're gonna.
As a Cowboys fan, I love the JJ McCarthy pick from the Giants. Thank you very much. I hope y'all use your number 6 overall pick as a win.
All right. Atlanta's going defense here. It's not hard for me. They're going defensive edge. They need edge help. They're going Dallas Turner. Chicago here. I'm going Brock Bowers. If I was Chicago, I go Brock Bowers. I know that sounds crazy to you, Riley, but I'm telling you, Brock Bowers is a top 10 talent, like pure talent in the NFL over the course of his career. And this dude, if he can play for a long time, will go down as a Kittle, as a, that level or higher, and Andrews, that kind of tight end. So the Jets are on the clock. I mean, you kind of got to go Rome Odunze here. Pair him up with Garrett Wilson. Give Aaron Rodgers a young weapon. You guys have any thoughts on it?
Well, didn't they just get Mike?
Yeah, they got Mike Williams.
Yeah, so they really have.
I don't think they need a wide receiver.
You think?
See, I could see it swapping where the Bears take Rome Odunze there and the Jets take Brock Bowers. But like I said, this is yours. If they, I don't think they take Rome Odunze. I think they probably go with an offensive lineman.
Who you like? You like Fashanu or Fashanu?
I probably like Fashan. No, I like Fatanu more.
Fatanu? The guards? I mean, he's listed as a tackle here, but he'll play guard in the NFL.
It's tough. Fashanu and
let's
Fashanu and Fatanu are both
Fashanu.
really good.
I like Fashanu. Let's go Fashanu.
Okay.
All right. Then we got New England on the clock here. Rome Odunze sitting there for New England.
God, they need a quarterback is what they need.
I don't hate the
There's not
idea.
A quarterback that I think they take there at 11 though.
Yeah, you don't take either of these guys at 11. I'm gonna say they go Johnny Newton. Defensive interior. Stack that defense.
Get somebody on that. Yep. You just got some picks, stack up the defense, and then you can go after offensive weapons later after you get a good defense.
Now the Broncos are going QB here. They're reaching. They desperately. Sean Payton wants his guy, and his guy is Michael Penix Jr. It's the guy he wants. He wants that accuracy, that pocket quarterback who's going to stand in there and just dink and dunk all over the field and just take the easy throws. And Penix has got a laser beam of an arm, and he can do that.
Well, you know the Raiders are wanting Penix. So
yeah,
here's what they do. Like, well, I mean, I'm not saying what they do, but I mean, what do they do here now?
I think they go.
Do they trade back?
No, I think they go Odunze. They let go of Hunter Renfrow. They have Devontae Adams, but he's getting older. And who better for Odunze to learn from than Devontae Adams? I mean, you have a potential I don't think Odunze works out 9 times out of 10 in the NFL. But if there's anybody who can teach him how to be great, it's Devontae Adams, right?
Right.
Give him the best chance to succeed. I say we take Rome Odunze. Now the Saints are on the clock. There's a high possibility they trade out here, but Cam Jordan's getting old. Cameron Jordan is getting old, and they're going to take Jared Verse. They're going to take a solid defensive end, plan for the future. They got some cap struggles coming up still. Now we have Indy, and
between two, whichever one you want.
Man, I really like Cooper DeJean to Indy. I just see it happening in my brain.
It's one of those. They're taking a corner. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind.
I don't think that either. Now the Seahawks are up, and I really like Byron Murphy II to the Hawks, and call me crazy, but I think it's happening. The new defensive coordinator. They have a great young secondary in Seattle. They did just cut both their safeties, so that could be a thing.
There's not really a top.
I mean, you could reach.
Board,
you could reach and go Nubin, but I think you just stay here. You stack your defensive line, and you get great there. The only other option I would have gone is Fatanu there to play guard from Washington, stays in Seattle, like that could be, but I really like Byron Murphy.
That's the other pick I was looking at. I was looking at Fatanu for the offensive line.
I think is what Jacksonville does here. I think they are thank God their starting guard was Ezra Cleveland last year, who they got from us, who's not very good. So I think they go and solidify their guard spot. And now you have the Bengals on the clock. And it's between tackle and cornerback for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think they go edge here. I'm going to go tackle. I'm going to go Fuga. All right, then the Rams are up. What do you guys think here? I want some knowledge. I want some weigh-in stuff here.
Well, I'm not really sure what the Rams are in need for right now.
Well, here it says quarterback, tackle, D-line, linebacker, and cornerback. I have seen spots where they take the 5th quarterback here to sit behind Stafford, who's, almost getting up. He's getting up there. He's almost, I think he's 37 now.
I think
going around with that. How many years are left on his contract? Does anyone know?
I don't know. Can't be many.
I think out of all the team needs, you probably either go with tackle or cornerback here because that's what's best on the board for them. They could possibly trade back. I don't know who's interested in this trade. But, I mean, I feel like Bo Nix, if that's the quarterback they're going for, is probably way too high here at 19. Or any quarterback besides that is way too high.
So let's see here. They would Miami, Arizona, San Fran, and Kansas City all have offers.
Okay.
Let's look with Arizona.
I feel like they might trade back up.
So Arizona gives the 27 and the 35. Actually, it would be 27 and 71. Let's do 27 and 71. Everybody like that? That sound fair to everybody?
93% chance of it being accepted. I think it's good.
We trade that. Boom. Gets accepted. And then Arizona, now back up on the clock. Who we take with it? Yeah, Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison. So they already got their wide
receivers off the board.
They could go with another wide. I've seen mocks where they take 2 wide receivers in the first round though to help it out.
I think they jump up and get Quinyon Mitchell. I think he's going to be really good. They jump up, get Quinyon Mitchell, and then
I like that.
Pittsburgh. So TJ Watt's getting up there in age. He's not a young buck anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's in his prime. Defensive ends tend to either want big money or go ring hunting later in their careers.
Didn't he just get paid, or is he still on a deal?
No, he got paid. He got paid. He's not on his rookie deal. He's been paid. He's
no, I mean
money.
like did he just get paid?
I don't think so.
There's I would say there's probably 4 guys on this list that I love for the Steelers to take here.
It's the top 2. It's the top Latu to play across and learn from TJ Watt, or we take Terrion Arnold, who I think is going to be a stud.
That is 2 of them. I was going to say the third one is probably Jackson Powers Johnson to help out their center needs.
Yeah, you could go there.
I mean, I was going to lean towards Terrion Arnold.
As the GM, I'm gonna lean on my scout's advice. What would you do with this pick if you had final say?
I like the thought of going edge here.
I like Arnold. Give him some cornerback help.
Dalton, I need one. It's either edge or cornerback. Riley said corner or edge. Cooner said quarterback. What are we doing? What are you feeling? Edge. All right, we're going edge. Latu is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, and then Miami on the clock. I have a center need. I have a glaring need at center. I think Jackson Powers Johnson.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Yeah.
No. I'm here. Let's talk about it.
I think give me the information. I think their offensive line is just all bad. So I feel like
the league touchdown guy.
They did, but I know that they need a lot. They
into a 16 touchdown guy. They have a great running offensive line.
They lost a couple guys, didn't they?
I thought they just lost their center. I didn't think they lost anybody else.
I don't know. I feel like Amarius Mims is just calling my name right now. I feel like I think that's a tackle that could go way higher than where he's at currently in the draft.
I would take Latham before I took Mims.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I like Latham just a little more.
But I know that if you don't take Jackson Powers Johnson here, the Eagles are probably going to take Jackson Powers Johnson.
Oh, they will 100% take him.
I mean, you could see if they want to trade back to get him, but I don't know.
I'm gonna lean on my scouts here. They've been at the pro days. They've been going to games since last season. I'm gonna take Amarius Mims. I'm gonna lean on my scouts' advice here. I wasn't at every pro day. They saw something that I didn't, so I'm gonna lean on my scouts' advice. All right, then the Eagles go Jackson Powers Johnson, no question.
Yep, no question.
Now New England's on the clock. We're going J.C. Latham.
Yep.
We're celebrating. We got our left tackle. We're loving it. Dallas is on the clock. I know what Spoon thinks is going to happen here. And
out of all those guys there, who do you think I say?
Brandon Graham.
Yep.
Or Graham Barton. Brandon Barton. I'm going to go a different route. Ryan Thomas Jr. is going to Dallas.
Oh,
okay.
Ryan Thomas Jr. is going to Dallas. He's gonna make a name for himself with a star on his helmet. You're gonna love it. Nate Wiggins to Green Bay because
he's a bum.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Jair Alexander's getting up there. He's the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. You're either gonna end up cutting him, trading him, or he's gonna finish out his career as a lower paid. But I don't see him, his personality, accepting a pay cut. So you take a replacement to give yourself some insurance in Nate Wiggins, which leaves Terrion Arnold falling way down here and falling to Tampa Bay. And as Tampa Bay's GM, we have a lot of holes, but we're just going to make our defense better. We have plenty of offensive weapons.
Taking the best available on the board.
Yeah, BPA, best player available. Now LA is on the clock, and I think that LA is... I think they go Graham Barton.
Okay.
Just take the tackle. So we're going to go Graham Barton there. Buffalo is on the clock, and Adonai Mitchell is staring them in the face, and it's between him and McConkey for me. And we've talked about this before. Going McConkey. I know, Spoon, you hate that. I know you do. And then, does anybody know what I'm going to do with this pick?
We know.
If you've watched the show before ever, you know exactly where I'm going with this pick.
Have we had the Lions taking anyone else?
Yes, we have. Spoon took somebody else.
Nice going, Spoon.
So my head coach is Dan Campbell. He's literally doing push-ups behind my green screen because he is getting in football mode, and he wants a tough-nose, hard-nose, just beefy football team, and he wants me to take a linebacker because that's what we do with first-round picks is we take linebackers and running backs. So Peyton Wilson, welcome to Detroit. The entire city of Detroit goes crazy in the background. Dan Campbell smashes a beer on his head. Everybody's cheering. It's awesome. Then Baltimore's up.
They take Adonai Mitchell.
No, they just took a first-round receiver in the draft in Zay Flowers. They're going to go Kool-Aid McKinstry to kind of shore up that back end, play with Kyle Hamilton, just start really fortifying that defense again. They lost some key players in free agency, so they're going to start fortifying. San Francisco is a prime trade down candidate. We're not doing a second round, so I don't know exactly where they're going. But
I think this would be a great pick for somebody to trade up and nab Bo Nix if they really wanted him.
Yeah, and I don't know who that would be necessarily, but I do think that no chance the Cowboys are trading back up. No. I'm gonna go ahead and send Chop Robinson to San Francisco.
Okay,
we're gonna send Chop Robinson. He's gonna jump, and then Kansas City is gonna take Adonai Mitchell in the first round with the last pick. Ooh. Boom, Adonai Mitchell, and there is it'll be our second. Well, this is mock draft 6.0, and it is our second to last mock draft. Our last mock draft will be coming out this Saturday. This Saturday, we will post our last mock draft, and then we will talk about all things draft next week on the podcast. And then Thursday, we will live stream for the draft. We will be live on Instagram, Twitter, and we will just be watching the first round, talking about what happens, seeing who goes where, waiting for a trade up, waiting for a trade down. We're just football fans. We just want to see this already. We just want to have our answers.
Yes.
I don't know about you guys. I'm sick of sitting here and doing mock drafts. I just want to know what they actually do. Like, I just want to know. I just want to know.
There's so many different options. I just want to see now.
So many options.
I'm so lucky the Bears have another first round pick, because if not, it would be such a bottom line. Like, I know what they're gonna do.
The Bears are trading out of the number 9 spot, actually. That's gonna happen.
At least there's something. There's something that can go on.
No. So, all right. Do you guys have anything else before we end the show?
Nope.
I don't think so.
All right, boys. So with that, thank you all for sticking around to the very end of the show. We know it was a long one. We know we got off track sometimes, but that's what we do. We're just fans talking football. It's kind of what we do. We get off track. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff down at the bottom. And then we will see y'all next week for the draft. Have a good one.